Hi, welcome back, and here we are in the train room again, picking up really where we left off last time. I'm going to try and connect these two top level baseboards together at all this U shape that I've got down the south end of the layout. So as I said in the last video, if you haven't seen it, pop back and watch it, because this is really a carry on. So this is really the third part of building this top layer. So my aim is to have a station, a couple of stations, a TMD, whatever I'm going to build on the top here. I keep saying that because I haven't made my mind up yet, so I'm indecisive. But whatever, train yards, you know, anything that I think is going to be nice on the scenics will go on the left, right, and potentially at the top of the layout. So to connect these two ends together, and still so I've got room to work at these workstations, I want to carry round with what is going to be a girder bridge basically, and a couple of variations of a girder bridge. So where the throat of the station are going to have to narrow down and then have one track going round clockwise and one anti-clockwise, so that connects the two. And then of course, if you want to get down to the main line, which is on the lower level, there'll be areas to come up and down. We started building over on this side the incline coming up to the layout, so in theory you can go around the main line and then come off the main line up onto the top boards to the stations, and then link that round by the bridge, and then somewhere else go back down onto the main line. So that's the plan anyway. Let's get on. Okay, the first piece I'm going to build is this straight that goes across the top of the workstation. This is going to be the main bulk of the girder bridge really. So if I build this first and then work backwards from what curve I need to get around that corner nicely, and then to open the width of the baseboard up to connect to the baseboard over there and leave enough room in the throat of the station or the yard to go from 2 to 6 tracks. So what I'm going to build here is basically a U profile that fits over the top of the existing wood. Then I can level that in at the same height as the baseboards, and then make the connections on either side, do all the calculations and work out what that board needs to be. So let's get on with that. So that's built now, the U shape that I said, and that should just fit over these timbers that are the back of the workstation. That should now just fit in place. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments as I put the side pieces on, but for now that's great. Just need to get a level on that then. Never doubted it. Okay, fast forward a bit, and quite a bit of head scratching, measuring and cutting of wood. And this area, I think we have about covered. Now there's a few odd shaped bits that go in here. Again, this is all 12mm ply with some, but this time I've used some batten to strengthen the sides. Put a few supporting wedges in there to give that some strength. That should fit in there, he says. That's piece one. And then I've got another piece here, again with these. I'm trying to keep the main area as free as I can, so I don't foul with any point work or anything. And maybe once I've got my point work in, I may put some more strengthening pieces in, but to be fair, you know, it's fairly strong. So piece two, that allows me to come around the corner and open up into the throat of the station or the yard. And then the final piece, which is this one, just slot in there, he says, and then the whole thing will marry up. I'm going to have to put some fixings in place to hold it there, but in theory that's it. Now just lifting the camera up, you can see here I've gone from the 10 centimeters of 12mm ply and then reduced that down to the depth, which I think is 2" on these battens, then round the corner, and then it just meets up with the straight bridge. So if I don't have enough space to come round here with a sensible curve, then I can do an infill piece there, but it's one of the next things to test. Okay, on the other side I've built a similar thing, albeit I did run short of wood, and as it's a Sunday couldn't go and get anything else, but I did find some bits and managed to cut that in. Of course that'll all be painted, and doesn't really matter. I am short of a piece on the front there. Again, I'll go and pick some up in the week and just cut that bit in, but apart from that, that's fine. Now the bridge itself, I have temped up a couple of structures that I cut on the laser cutter. Now I'm not sure about the final design of these, but I've seen things like this in place, but there are probably 10 different designs that I've seen on these girder bridges, so I'm going to have a look at that. But if you can imagine the loco inside, I think that'll look pretty good going past at head height while I'm sitting at the command station. So going from this angle, okay, I've just put some temporary track down. I'm going to try and keep this top level mainly concrete sleepers, but let's see how that goes. Anyway, I wanted to see what this Intercity 125 43 class would look like going over the bridge. So let's just roll him over. And then on the other side, I've put a couple of platforms in just to represent a station, because I potentially may use that side as a station. Just reverse that back round. So now I've decided that this is going to be a bridge. Not 100% sure on this structure. I'm going to have to go away, do some drawings, mock a few things up, and see what looks best. There are some with like a dome top on, which I quite like, with brick pillars in between. But again, I'm not sure. And then of course there's just good, pretty standard iron with rivet sides and stuff. I like the graffiti and the grimy sort of look on those. So all that's fine. And then here we're going to have the throat of the station. Now that's where I would like to hear a few ideas from everybody else. So really I've got three areas. I've got this area here, which is including the throat, 280 centimetres, just over 9 feet to the end of the baseboard. And then I've got this area at the top here, and then again the same on the other side. Now the question is, what do I do with those 3 areas? So I want some play factor, obviously. I want to build good scenic. So at the moment in my head, I'm thinking, do I put a station this side, station that side, and some kind of TMD at the end? Do I make this a TMD? All these things, you know, I've got a blank canvas basically. So any thoughts and ideas, if you want to drop me an email, that would be appreciated, or drop some comments below, and then I can look at what the next stage is going to be as regards the layout. Now, the top level, I'm going to go straight with DCC. So this is all going to be wired. Any droppers and anything's going to go in now. The next thing I'm going to do is obviously take everything off and give this a lick of paint so that I've got a good basis to work from. But apart from that, up here will be a blank canvas. Okay, that wraps up another video. Really pleased that the top layer is now basically finished as regards the baseboard, and both levels of baseboards have now been completed, or certainly 95%. That allows me now to continue with some new stuff. So I want to look at certainly the top layer, top level to be DCC, start wiring that, start getting some proper controllers in. I want to focus on building the scenery around that bridge. Quite looking forward to that, getting some actually modelling done. So there's some of the things that are coming up, and I hope you're enjoying the content. And I've hit 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely phenomenal. You know, I didn't expect in the short few months that I've been going and the few videos that I've done to reach 1,000 and still growing. You know, thousands of likes, subscribes, and views. So yeah, absolutely phenomenal. My daughter made me some little French fancy cakes and put 1,000 subs on. I'll share a photo at the end. That was really thoughtful and made me smile and gave me cake to eat. So anything else? Yes, go and check out a channel called Dillington Railway. Dylan and James, I think Dylan is, I can't remember, he was a young lad, he was 12, 13, and his granddad James. Do some quirky little videos, little model building around his layout. So please go and support them, like, subscribe. You know, let's everybody's channel grow, and the more likes, subscribes and views and everything everybody gets, the more incentive there is for them to create content. The more content they create, the more choice that we have as viewers, because you know, 90% of my YouTube is watching other people. So yeah, that's good. Pop over there, and yeah, I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye for now.